For nearly a decade, my body felt like a prison. Every day was a battle against an invisible enemy, a deep, relentless pain and a fatigue that was so crushing it stole my life one piece at a time. And for years, doctor told me this was my life, and I just had to live with it. They ran test after test and prescriptions that barely did anything, and I was told that I just had to live with it. And honestly, I was just ready to give up. But then one doctor told me something that changed my life. He told me that the key to my freedom wasn't in a pill bottle or a surgical table. It was inside my own brain, and in this video I'm going to share how I found that key and how I used it to get my life back. And it all started so quietly. It was this nagging ache in my back. It was a weariness that no amount of sleep could touch. And at first I just figured that I had to, that I had overdone it, that maybe it was stress. But it didn't go away. It just got worse, and the ache morphed into a burning, radiating pain that shot through my neck, my shoulders, and down my legs. The fatigue was so heavy that some days just lifting my head off the pillow felt like I was climbing a mountain, and my world just shrank. I had to quit my job. I stopped going out with my friends, and I didn't even have energy to hold a conversation. And, more often than not, I was unable to attend anything, and my life became just a blur of appointments, doctor's visits, specialists, physical therapists, you name it. I was scanned. I collected vague diagnoses like fibromyalgia, chronic fatigue syndrome, depression, and my personal favorite, unspecified chronic pain. But the physical pain wasn't even the worst part. It was the mental chaos. It was feeling like I was broken. Friends and even some family just didn't get it. They'd say that I looked fine, and I started to doubt my own mind, But my hopelessness was just continually to spiral down, and I remember just laying in bed, staring at the ceiling, and I was thinking, is this it? Is this how my life is going to be? And I felt like a ghost, haunting my own life. And after almost a decade of all this, I lost all hope. I accepted the verdict that this was permanent. And then, right at my lowest point, I had an appointment with a new doctor, and I walked into his office expecting the same story, but instead, he looked at my long history and he said something that changed my life. He said that in order to heal, I needed to retrain my brain. And he explained the concept of neuroplasticity. The words sound extremely complicated to me, but the idea behind it, shockingly, was pretty simple. Your brain can change, and it's not fixed in a place. It can literally rewire itself based on your experiences and thoughts. And he told me that there's a type of pain called neuroplastic pain. And this isn't pain from a new injury. It's pain that the brain learns and gets stuck on. He used an analogy of a faulty fire alarm. The fire is out, the smoke is gone, but the alarm is still screaming, convinced that there's danger. And my nervous system was stuck on this high alert, misinterpreting normal signals from my body, like muscle moving, as threatening and creating real physical pain in response. This was the single biggest aha moment for my entire life. For nearly a decade, I was convinced my body was the problem. But this doctor suggested that the issue wasn't in my body's hardware, but in my brain's software. And if my brain could learn pain, then maybe it could unlearn it. And for the first time in forever, I had this little flicker of hope that came on. And I wasn't permanently broken. I just needed to reboot my system. Now, it's important to say that not all chronic pain is purely neuroplastic. Some conditions involve ongoing tissue damage. But for me, after doctors had ruled that out, this was a game changer. So this discovery set me on a new path. I started experimenting with techniques designed to retrain my brain. And I call them my brain hacks. And these 3 steps were the core to my recovery. So hack 1 is exposing the false alarm. First and most importantly, I had to truly convince myself that my pain was neuroplastic and just a false alarm. So the pain is 100% real, but understanding that its source is a brain misinterpretation, not ongoing physical damage, changes everything. So I started gathering my evidence. I made a list of all the ways my pain acted like a false alarm. Basically, if I moved my body, it flared up when I was stressed, and it would sometimes vanish, and it got completely, it would go away completely if I was doing something I enjoyed. So every time a wave of pain hit, instead of panicking like I used to, I'd stop and tell myself this is just the sensation created by my brain. It's a false alarm and I'm safe, and, it was tough at first. But the fear was I had it for nearly a decade. It was an old habit. But repeating this truth started to build a new, stronger pathway in my brain. And really educating myself on the science of the pain was the first step to taking its power away. So once I started to dial down the fear, I moved to the next hack, which is somatic tracking. And it's basically a mindfulness technique where you pay attention to the physical sensations, but with a new attitude, which is curiosity instead of fear. So instead of flinching away from the pain, I gently turn my attention towards it. I'd find a quiet spot, take a few deep breaths, and just observe the sensation. And I wouldn't try to change it or force it to leave. And I just kind of watched it with curiosity, kind of like a scientist. And I'd ask myself, what does it actually feel like? Is it hot? Is it tingling? Is it a dull ache? Is it moving? And more often than not, I just watched it without fear, and that sensation, would change. And this was, the key, because my whole life I resisted pain, which just tells the brain, yes, this is a threat. By observing it calmly, I was sending a powerful new message that this was just a sensation, it's not dangerous, and we're okay. Now, the final piece of the puzzle was to actively create feelings of safety, because a nervous system stuck in survival mode is always looking for threats. So to heal, I had to prove to my brain that I was finally safe to stand down. So I did this in a few ways. I practiced deep breathing. I did all kinds of deep breathing techniques. It's really a simple but powerful signal to your nervous system that you're relaxed. And I also changed my self-talk. So instead of "I can't handle this," I started saying, "My body is strong and resilient," or "I'm healthy and strong." And I said it every single day. Visualization played a huge role. I'd spend time every day vividly imagining myself doing things I loved, totally pain-free. Hiking, dancing, walking down the street feeling easy and light in my body. This wasn't just daydreaming. It was building and strengthening the new neural pathways for health and well-being. And as they say in neuroscience, neurons that fire together wire together, and the ones that don't unwire. And it taught me that visualization isn't about pretending that you're fine. It's about teaching your brain what it feels like to be safe again. Now, I want to be clear, it's not an overnight fix. It can take time and consistency. That, with me, there were good days, there were bad days, but slowly things started to shift, and the pain-free moments got longer, the flare-ups got weaker, and then one morning I woke up and realized that I didn't have the pain anymore, that it was completely gone. So it was really quite beautiful, and this isn't, the crushing fatigue and everything lifted too, not just the pain. So I want to let you know that this can work for a lot of chronic symptoms. And my world, which had become really small, I was able to bring things back into my life. And now my life is unrecognizable. I'm not the same person who was trapped for nearly a decade in a long prison. I work, I travel, and I live. And the old pain feels like a story from someone else's life. Now, while these techniques might not erase the pain for everyone, for me, they rewired the root cause and they gave my life back. So this story is not about a magic cure. It's just an incredible power that we have inside our brains. So neuroplasticity isn't just a science term. It's a message of hope, and it means that change is possible. And the most important thing that I want you to take away from this is that, yeah, your symptoms are real, but they don't have to be your destiny. Your body's not broken. Your body is your brain is working incredibly hard to protect you, but its signals have gotten cross-wired, and you have the power to gently guide it back to a state of safety. So I'm just curious, what has this journey with chronic pain been like for you? Because I know it can be so isolating, so please share your story in the comments, and let's create a community of support right here and remind each other that we're not alone. But yeah, I love helping as many people as possible, so if you're feeling really frustrated or stuck, I really want to encourage you to watch all of my videos. They're going to give you a deeper understanding of how brain rewiring works and how healing actually happens. And for those who are looking for a little more support and guidance, and you're tired of walking this path alone, if you're ready for a strategic roadmap, I invite you to learn more about our Recovery System program. It's a program designed to help you with chronic fatigue, chronic pain, POTS, mast cell activation syndrome, and even food and chemical sensitivities. This program provides a clear, step-by-step system with personalized support to help you understand the science behind your symptoms and give you the tools to finally break free from them for good. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description so you can book your free discovery call. We're going to talk about your goals and create a customized plan to help you move forward. And no matter what, you're going to leave with clear, actionable steps so that you know what to do each and every single day. So yeah, if you're ready for change, you can book the call, and I will put the link in the description. So I'm just curious, in the comments, let me know if you've heard about neuroplasticity or brain rewiring and what your thoughts are. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading those. I love reading every single comment, and God bless you. Have a good day.